All right, we're starting.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Mom.
Hi. So today we're going to be doing, we're going to be going through the album and talking through, just some of the story behind the album itself, and then we're going to go into the songs. But yeah. So,
So how did all this start in the first place? You know?
and,
Well, first of all,
Yeah.
we became friends a few years ago now.
Yeah.
And we've always been on the same creative wavelength. Also, so this is just like jiggling in the dangling in the corner.
Oh, man.
We became friends through our college campus job.
Yeah.
I hired him. Yeah. And we cleaned the school for a summer, and we realized that we have similar backgrounds as to where we come from, and we're very similar people, and we would like laugh a lot, and we also loved creating things. And so we talked about we talked about music a lot. I feel like back then, we did bond over 21 Pilots, and also I think that's when we started talking about Nothing But Thieves too. Different bands that we both liked,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
That's when I showed you Nothing But Thieves for the first time.
They were already on my Spotify playlist before you should. I had
Interesting.
Particles in my playlist before.
Interesting.
So
No, you know what happened? I showed you the first summer. You added it to your playlist, and then I showed you again the second summer we worked together.
that's not what happened.
That is fully what happened. That is 100% what happened. Because I know my first summer here, I played it, but you didn't, before
That's
we were close.
untrue.
That is not
Untrue.
untrue. That is very true.
Your skeleton blanket is following.
Oh,
Also, we have a ghost and a skeleton blanket, so
Yeah.
made specially for us by
were-
Target.
They were a gift from her to me and her to her.
Yeah, so we become fast friends, and then we have a very hard year.
Yeah, so essentially it was a really, really rough time. And so we needed a way to get through it. And what we ended up doing was we talked about writing music together because we both were musical and stuff like that. And so, we decided to make a little world. It was kind of fun. The two characters, the little skeleton and ghost, were two things that we'd come up with separately that we realized just kind of fit together. I had been drawing this little skeleton guy in a little hoodie for a while, in some art that I had been doing, and you came up with this little ghost character.
Yeah, I was just journaling one day, and I drew how I felt, and it was originally a little ghost. He had a little toothpick with a drop of blood at the end because it's so edgy. But no, it was how I was feeling that day, for some reason. So it was my little self-portrait. And then, yeah, it just kind of matched to your character. So when we started building the world, and talking about, I don't know, I don't even know why. Why were we doing this? We were just talking about, a concept album.
Yeah, essentially, we were talking about if we could have a more story-based concept album where we would write in a little world that had a series of metaphors we could draw from that did a little world building for music. We were like, well, that would be kind of cool if we could do that. And so we started with these little characters, and just started creating a series of different metaphors that are, they are drawn they're sprinkled throughout the album, in different capacities.
And we'd like to kind of keep that more of a mystery that you guys can discover along the way.
The way we kind of go about writing those songs that have to do with this little world building, I found we generally are sitting in a spot and we again, it's like a bank of metaphors that we use, that we pull from when we're writing a song about something else, that we feel this metaphor in this that we kind of pre-discussed fits with how I'm feeling. And so I'm going to use it for that, and then kind of develops what those metaphors in the world
Which
say.
actually, technically, makes it more of a big allegory than because if
Technically.
it's a larger
Yeah.
scale thing. But anyways, that's how my husband is sitting over there.
Don't identify me.
Then don't speak.
You wanted me to speak.
We did. He's wearing a shirt that says National Sarcastic Society.
There's a cable!
So this is kind of just what the album is. It is an
Yeah.
allegory of a world we created in a time where the real world was a little hard to exist in at the time. It wasn't escapism. It was more making sense of suffering through art, which is something that both of us believe in strongly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That kind of is, I think, one of the coolest parts of art is the kind of redemptive nature of it, and how you can go through something bad and write music about it, and the world can be better for the hurt that you went through. And I feel that very, very strongly. And I think that is that idea is also sprinkled throughout our music, because I think we both are very much that's something we care about.
yeah, and the title In Forest, it had to do with the fact that these little characters of ours, they are taking a journey and they're different stages. And right now, where they are is they're not even exactly there. That's for you to figure out. But the forest is a very important location, and we wanted to start by introducing that spot.
And
Yeah.
so that's why the idea of the forest is very significant, and that's why we felt like it was important to start the album with the track named that, and then name the album after that track.
Name
So.
the album after that. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, name the track after the album.
Oh, is that the order that it went?
Yeah.
Cool.
It doesn't matter.
Which came first, the chicken or the egg? But yeah, no. So
Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve.
Actually, technically, no. The chicken
No.
did come before Adam and Eve.
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked who?
Adam.
God.
No, mostly Adam. God's fine.
Anyways,
Is that it?
well, that's the album. No,
Okay, yeah.
I can actually airdrop that right away.